family-run organisation My Care Solution has a mission to transform in-home care around Adelaide and Victor Harbour. Joining me to discuss is Executive Director Mark McBriarty. Hi there, Mark. How are you going?
Yeah, good morning, Jennie. Very well, thank you.
Excellent. So as people get older and need more support, often residential care or nursing homes come to mind, but staying at home is actually possible.
Look, absolutely. I think Australia has one of the highest rates of residential care for people over 80 at around 20%, but worldwide the average is around about 12%. So I think there's some great opportunities there to give people the resources they need, and quite often that can be as simple as some minor home modifications to make the house safe, making sure that medications are had, making sure that nutritious meals are cooked. So there's a lot that can be done to ensure that people stay in control in their own homes.
And the home care space can be rather confusing, but I understand your organisation aims to sort of demystify it.
Look, as much as possible. The government has come some ways, and now there's only one single entry point into receiving government-funded care, and that's through My Aged Care. And for listeners, that number's 1800 200 422. Some people don't feel confident advocating on their own behalf, so you are very welcome to use a family or a friend to be your advocate, to steer you through the process, and to be on the phone with you, and to also be there when you are assessed, which is called an ACAT, which determines what level of support you would need to maintain your independence. And that's a really important point. What we often find is that people tend to downplay the areas they're struggling with, and that can be, hanging washing on the line, making a double bed, and if people aren't open and honest during that ACAT process, they ended up being assessed at a level below their care needs. So, we're not certainly telling people to amp it up at all, but to be very open and honest with the things that are causing a challenge in your home. I think a lot of people think that a home care package is just for things like personal assistance and showering and dressing and meal preparation and taking shopping, but it is a funding envelope, and it can be used for a wide variety of things to enhance someone's independence, and that can be new dentures, upgrading hearing aids, upgrading glasses, minor home modifications. So it is an envelope that can be used to make sure that you remain safe in your own home.
And there are private options, which I imagine would open up lots of opportunities, but some of it is government funded as well.
Certainly not within everyone's wheelhouse, but what we often find is that people might get a home care package, and for a level 4 package, I know many of the not-for-profit providers are delivering around 10 or 11 hours a week, and we look more towards 15 to 16 hours a week, but quite often people might need a visit a day or twice a day, so they might want to top that up with private services. There are other people who just don't want to trouble the keeper, who don't want to be beholden to government funding and what they want when they want. And obviously in that case, there's no waiting lists, and one of the biggest challenges we have at the moment is that people are waiting quite a while before they put their hand up to say, I need some help. And unfortunately that then lines up with nearly a 2-year waiting list for higher levels of package of care. So we often say to people, that's the period that you'll deteriorate. If you use some private services whilst you're waiting for your home care package, and once that comes in, we can then transfer that cost into your home care package, and then you can top and tail depending on what you might need on a particular week.
With me at the moment is Executive Director of My Care Solution, Mark McBriarty. I understand the state government is looking, though, at investing more in home care. Is that right?
Look, certainly the queue is still around about 106,000 people that are waiting. The government announced another 6,000 packages last week. But again, what we're seeing is that there's nearly 2,000 Australians turning 80 every week, and nearly 1,000 Australians turning 90. So as soon as those packages are put on the market, they get consumed by natural demand. So certainly from purely a fiscal perspective, it's cheaper to keep people at home. The most the government pays for level 4 packages around about $53,000. If they're supporting someone in residential care, it's $75,000 to $80,000. So obviously it's in the government's best interest, and as long as it's safe to do so, I think we can see a shift in funding a little bit away from residential and more towards funding people to remain in their own homes.
What are the benefits of staying at home?
Look, I think it's choice and control. I think, once you give that up, I think it becomes a very slippery slope. And, our values that we have in our business are very much about keeping people in control and being involved. And we could have someone with a memory issue that might have difficulty in coming up with a straight-out decision, but we can still give them choice within a limited framework so that they're very much involved. And I think, in terms of connections with the local butcher and the local community and things, I think it's people often lose that when they go into residential care. And unfortunately, the lifespan is not that great in residential care, and we're seeing people waiting longer and longer. So, they're entering there much, much later, and obviously the lifespan is quite short from there. So we find that, once we address people's concerns at home, there's absolutely no reason that they can't continue to remain at home. The two biggest reasons that people end up in residential care and indeed in hospital is medication mismanagement and malnutrition. And they're two things that obviously all of our caregivers are medical credentialed so that they can deliver that medication. And obviously they're very used to cooking nutritious meals rather than, perhaps some take-in ones. And Meals on Wheels do a fabulous job, but you just can't beat the smell of food cooking in your home to sort of stimulate appetite and make sure that people eat well.
We can have a look on your website. Not everyone has the internet, though. We can give you a buzz to talk through the options.
Look, absolutely, and we've got our office in Victoria Street there in Victor Harbour, and it's interesting. We probably have 5 or 6 people come in a week there to see, what's this all about and how would it suit me. Whereas our Adelaide office, we tend to do it more in people's homes. It's interesting. It's only an hour and a half away, but country people certainly want to eyeball who they're dealing with, and. One of the things that separates us from others is that we don't outsource. We believe that small teams that are nurse-led make sure that you have that familiarity with your clients, and then you can get into really helping them rather than a tribe of different people coming through your home focusing on tasks. We would much rather build that relationship with you and get to know you, and for you to trust us that we're here to do the right thing.
So I've got the numbers here for My Care Solution. The Adelaide office 8331 9922 and Victor Harbour's 8552 9840.
And just to point out, our website, if English isn't your first language, can also be translated into about 52 different languages with a little click of the button as well.
Oh, excellent. Thanks so much for your time today, Mark. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for your time, Jennie.